But I can hear Nancy Pelosi saying it right now. Save our democracy. Restore our democracy. And then we can continue our government and our democracy, or whatever we call it, for another 244 years. And we'll plant more trees and have electric cars and work to get our government back in order, which will take probably another 20 years, at least. That is not the future of this country. It was Baba Vanga, by the way, the blind psychic from, where was it? And she said that the last president would be a black man. Well, he was. What we have now is someone who stole the election. He's not a real president. He's invalid. And if Baba Vanga is correct, Biden will not be the next president, which doesn't matter. In the early 1970s, Maharishi brought before us a Jyotishi, sometimes called a Vedic astrologer. And this Jyotishi, who looked at the nation's birth chart, told us when the dark age of Kali Yuga would end. He said it would end when the orange man came to power. Imagine how puzzled we were to hear that way back then. Now it all makes sense. And this is why I keep saying that the dark age of Kali Yuga will die when the orange man dies, not before. And when it comes, everything we know now, all of our civilization, with its laws and corporations, will vanish. Because we have a new world coming. And the date for the final stage of this chaotic world transition is September 20th, when Rump will rise from his weakness and in desperation bring forth his ultimate destructive acts in his final act of desperation. I'll do a whole video on the planets involved. Meanwhile, mark it on your calendar. Even if Rump is voted out, even if Biden wins, with the mass destruction coming, with cities falling into canyons, no one will be thinking about their government. In Maharishi's words, there will be big earthquakes. You can cling to your precious democracy all you want, but it's going to disappear. Because it was made by men, made by humans. And it has never brought fulfillment to the people anyway. Something much better is coming. And that is self-rule. For those who survive this transition, you'll become enlightened and create your own universe and be the sole ruler of that universe. The world that we know now is about to disappear. Worrying about political problems and complaining about political problems and venting on Facebook about political problems is a total waste of life. And that is because all evil is about to disappear. So long as we have crime and poverty, our government has failed. It's a fraud. And it does not have the power to give us a perfect nation or a perfect world. It does not have the power to save us from the Earth's sixth extinction brought on by global warming, brought on by plastic, oil, and deforestation, the violations of nature. It was 100 degrees Fahrenheit a month ago at the North Pole. And it went by everyone because they were all focused on what Rump is doing, at least in the media. Rump is a tiny, tiny grain of sand on a mountain of sand compared with the explosion of purity that is about to happen. God is the only one who can save this planet, not a blue wave. No, you're about to find out. Everyone should know that we're not in a political snag that we can fix with an election. What's happening to our society and to our world is not politics. This is a world transition where a 432,000 year dark era is about to stop just as it just began. And heaven will then descend to earth. The contrast between these two eras creates the chaos we see around us every day. You have to look at all of the other changes going on in the world to understand what is really happening and why this chaotic period is so important and why it is inevitable as purity rises, that it's not just politics. In the coming new world, we won't even remember this world. We certainly won't remember this moment as the most critical election in our country's history, because there will be no more history. Our attention will be on the infinite bliss we feel every day and all night, just as it should be today, just as it can be today. We're about to experience the return of the Garden of Eden, with reversal of aging, physical immortality, and with every desire fulfilled instantly. Whatever you want, you'll get there. You might think it's impossible, but you'll have it. And that is how human life is supposed to be, and how it was in ancient times. It's now returning. What we're experiencing now is not life. It's not human life, not yet. And the Republicans and the Democrats will not be part of that world, because they both rejected a method for creating world peace in the 1980s, which Maharishi presented to them. The best way to prepare for that higher vibration of Satyug is to transform ourselves to greater coherence and refine your nervous system with the most ancient technique of meditation, the most powerful technique of meditation, known in ancient times as Raja Yoga, the yoga of kings, the meditation technique of kings, given only to kings in those days. Today it's called the Transcendental Meditation Technique, TM. And then learn the TM cities, which are 1,000 times more powerful. But the TM technique comes first. The cities are the powers over the laws of nature that will fulfill any desire. And we want that kind of power when we get to Satyug. In Satyug, if we want to fly, we can fly, like a bird or a jetliner. The TM cities prepare us for that new world, where every desire is fulfilled instantly. So prepare yourself by learning those techniques. And watch the calendar for September 20th.